So, as you guessed, last week there was no episode, guys. I felt completely stuck, and honestly, I almost skipped this week too because I was like, what am I going to even post? I think my creative block is really taking root, and I do not want it to take root. So I realized I really need to talk about what is really been happening. You can see this, just I'm doing the bare minimum, so you just have to watch. It's not going to be a long video. I'm just going to share my candid experience with feeling stuck and how to push through that comfort voice that tells you not to do anything, like it's telling you just sit still, no one watches, no one cares. But I wanted consistency this year. That's why I said, even if I feel stuck, I'll not go 2 weeks without posting something on my YouTube channel because I want it to grow. So let's talk about it. So I'm going to share why we experience these blocks as simple ways to overcome them. I'm looking down here because this is where I have my notes. I really want an elaborate setting because I want you guys to understand it's okay as a creative, it's okay as a digital content creator to feel lost, to feel stuck, to lack motivation, to actually want to wake up and post on your social media, but with social media, consistency is what builds visibility, and visibility is what puts you out there. So I wanted to talk about why we get stuck, like why we get stuck. So don't forget to subscribe for more. I think I will try to get back to my routine, but let's dive into why we get stuck. So the first one is burnout and fatigue. Yeah, like I've been pushing myself so hard. I run like 4 social media pages. I have my LinkedIn for my professional networking. I have my Instagram, which is not doing so well, but I still try my best to post. I have my Facebook page, which is starting to pick up, and then I have my TikTok page. So those are like 4 pages I'm running, and I have to make sure I have a content schedule for each and every one of those um platforms. And if I feel burnt out, I just post one type of platform all through. And I also run a newsletter. I've recently started a nutrition corner with my partner at Momina Wellness. Watch that episode if you've not watched it. I interviewed her here and also featured on her episode. So we started a nutrition corner, our online webinar series that is usually up every Thursday. So I feel like I've been doing quite a lot and also trying to stay afloat, rest without feeling guilty. So I feel like I've been experiencing burnout, and that is the number one culprit why we get stuck. And then I feel like when you do too much, sometimes it can drain your creativity. Yeah, your creativity well has to be once in a while poured into, not just take. Yeah, and then the second one is overthinking and perfectionism. For me, I face a huge case of imposter syndrome sometimes, and coupled up with perfectionism. I talked about what perfectionism is. It's you wanting your content to be perfect, like that video to not have any mistakes, that post not to have any mistakes. So you end up reading and reading and reading, and then you end up giving up along the way, and then you stop. You don't even post completely. So I feel like waiting for the perfect idea. That's why in the nutrition corner we usually tell you guys to just start. Even if you have 10 connects, you have 10 followers, just continue posting, because consistency will build visibility, and visibility will be able to get that community you want to get. And I feel like sometimes for me, when I overthink and then I really visualize I want my content to be, I become paralyzed, and then I don't post. I just look at the content, stare at it, and say, you know what, that's it. And then lack of inspiration. And I feel like for me, the days I feel like I'm not creative enough, I feel like, what should I say? And then when I feel that way, I'm like, you know what, I'm not even going to post anything. Or I go and repurpose some of the content I had already posted. And then I end up feeling guilty. Why am I repurposing content? Why am I repeating the same thing? And then I go into a loop of perfectionism, and then you know how that goes. Yeah. And then external factors for me, as a lady, there's just a period in your time, you know what I mean, that you really don't want to do anything. And I feel like those are usually my hardest days. Stress, there's insomnia because I'm overthinking. And then I feel like when I wake up and I feel drained, it takes away my creativity. I'm dull, I can't do anything. So it's just a huge cycle, and most of these points they intertwine in some way. And then I feel like last week, let me give you an example. Last week, I really wanted that motivation to hit. Like, I wanted to post a video a day in my life so that you see how what goes behind the scenes. But I waited for the motivation, but the motivation wasn't there until it was already Tuesday. And then I just said, you know what, I'm just going to post anything. Almost the same thing, but I just pushed forward. And I feel like looking back, I should have pushed myself, because I feel like when you're on the lowest, that is when you'll do your best, because you want to prove something to yourself. So I told myself this week I'm going to make sure a video is up. And then I'm going to give you some practical tips that I feel like have been working for me when I feel stuck, because I feel stuck quite often. But if you go to my pages, you still find content. Because I really tell myself, Charity, you have to push. You want Charity Safe Haven to grow, and nothing comes easy. You have to work at it. You have to be consistent. You have to be dedicated, and you have to keep showing up even if you don't feel like. Yes, take a rest. I usually take Sundays off to just rest and think and plan. But when it's time for doing, I make sure I push myself to do, because I know myself, when procrastination takes in, I will not be able to do anything. So here are just some few practical tips I want to share with you guys. The first one is to take a break, like I said. Rest, it helps you just clear your thoughts. For me, when I want to rest, I go to nature. I love sitting in nature, the wind blowing, the trees, the birds, they soothe me. So I like going by myself, meditate, journal, and I stretch sometimes in the morning alone in nature. It's quite relaxing. I learn to take deep breaths, breathing techniques. This is something I've been looking into, is to change the environment, because I'm usually in the same sort of environment. I usually feel like, you know what, it's boring, and then it drains my creativity. And then doing the same routine, you wake up, do everything the same as yesterday, the same as tomorrow, and then I feel like it can really eat at you if you don't take care of that. So for me, what I do, I break the monotony. In the morning, I usually go for my walks. Of course, I have to get to my 10,000 steps every day, so I go for my walk. In the afternoon, I also, but it was quite hot, but I've seen the rains are coming back. But I usually go lunch hour to also walk, and then in the evening I go sit in nature and just think about how my day has been. So that has really been helping me break that monotony, boring cycle that sometimes can lead to me overthinking, and then perfectionism takes over. Seek inspiration. I go back to my posts and I look what I've posted. I read the comments, and then feedbacks I get in my DMs. I go and check out what other creatives in my field are doing. I go to the keynotes, I leave them in the screen. I go and check what is trending, what can I add. I go research more papers, and then I get inspiration and ideas from that paper or the trend or those videos I see. So I do a really thorough research for me to come up with the content I usually post here and on my platform. Then do something small and simple. I've learned to break down my tasks into manageable, doable, smaller tasks. So for me, what I do, I use Notion. I think I'll give you guys a guide on how to use Notion. I think in one of the coming videos. It's an AI software. You just input, like, it has everything: tables, to-do list, journal, everything. So when I want to break down manageable tasks, I say, like, this week I want to create content consistently. What actions am I going to take? And then I write the smaller actions, and then how I'm going to execute the actions. So every morning when I wake up, I go to Notion, check what I'm supposed to do today, and then how I'm supposed to execute it, and then it makes my life simpler. I usually tell you guys, don't frown upon AI, don't overuse it. Do your due diligent research, but if it can make your life easier, please use it. Talk about it and journal. If you have someone to listen to, talk about it. For me, I'm talking to you guys in this. I've journaled a lot, and I feel like it has, whatever I was going through has passed, and you'll understand some days why. Yeah. So I feel like I had a mental block, but right now I feel motivated, I feel energized. I say, let me talk about this. I feel like last week I should have tried better, but I feel like I didn't. So that is all on me. So that's all I had for you in today's episode. Thank you so much for joining me. I don't want this to be a longer episode because I wasn't really prepared. But hey, I showed up and I'm showing out. So don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on all my social media platforms at Charity Safe Haven. And we'll see each other in the next one. Bye.